Hi everyone, Kate here with part 6 out of my 100 life-softening books series. I hope that you are enjoying it. The first book I wanted to tell you about in this video is Miss Newberry's List by Megan Walker. And this is all about a young lady who has 2 weeks until she gets married and has remembered that she has a bucket list that she wants to complete before getting married. And she ends up finding love in unexpected places in the midst of her journey getting this list completed. I just found it such an endearing story, kind of thinking that your life is about to be over, so you're wanting to experience it to the fullest before that time. And I just completely fell in love with the cast of characters in it. I loved the items on the list too. It was very amusing to see the items be completed. And yes, just really enjoyable, sweet romance. And then the next book that is another sweet romance is Miss Adeline's Match by Joanna Barker. And Miss Adeline is a companion, and she is often overlooked just being a companion and being from a lower rung of society. But she ends up having a very memorable meeting with the owner of a local estate, a neighboring estate. And the sparks fly as soon as they meet each other. And I love kind of the Mr. Darcy, Elizabeth Bennet sort of meeting, and then a deeper understanding about each other happens. And it's just really, really beautiful to see that unfold. Then the next one is Her Caprice by Keira Dominguez. This is another sweet romance, and this one has some unexpected elements. I don't want to give anything away, but there are unexpected elements, so go in with an open mind, and I think you could really enjoy it. Things aren't all as they appear with the main character of Beatrice, and she has to figure out how to navigate her way in, Regency era society because of this. She is different. She stands out. And it's really sweet to see things unfold. It has such an exciting and thrilling conclusion to it. I loved every second of Her Caprice, and I think it's very underrated, and others would enjoy it if they tried it as well. The next one is the Seven Sisters series by Lucinda Riley. So I say this with a caveat because I've only read 4 out of the, now it's 8 books. Lucinda Riley sadly passed away before the conclusion of the series was published, but she entrusted the rest of the series to her son. So the final 2 books in the series are written by her son. And the premise is taken by, it's an inspiration from the Seven Sisters constellation. And each book focuses on a different sister after they are grappling with the death of their beloved father. And all of the sisters are adopted, the 6 sisters. And so then there is a book that's one of the final books in the series called The Missing Sister. And so they're going to somehow find this missing sister. But what's really special about this series is I like that you get to spend an entire book with each sister and get to know her. And all of their origins are from all over the globe. And so you get to be this globetrotter through the books and get to experience the different flavors of these different countries. And it's just a really lovely setup. And I really enjoy her writing and getting to see these women find a place that they call home, but also longing to be with their sisters that they've grown up with. It's just all about the people that you long to be with and the love that you share. And it's done really beautifully. The next life-softening book is A Game of Hearts by Joanna Barker. Again, I just adore Joanna Barker's writing. Really thoroughly recommend trying her if you like sweet romance and you haven't yet. A Game of Hearts, I love. It starts out enemies to lovers between Marigold and Tristan, and also has some archery competition in there. There's also a little bit of forced proximity, which I love. These people that have all these misunderstandings between each other and having to spend a lot of quality time together, I just find so compelling. So yes, love sweet romance, and there's something about getting to see the day-to-day lives of the characters that feels extremely life-softening. And then the next one is the Elliot Family Trilogy by Elizabeth Goudge. This is such The writing is unbelievably lush and rich in this. I love all of the descriptions of setting and place, but then you go into the deep inner workings of the characters' lives, and you see the stuff that they are made of. You get to see the vices and the virtues, and you see it all through the lens of Elizabeth Goudge's beautiful, beautiful writing. And she writes, she puts the spiritual into the everyday in such a beautiful, lovely way. And you're really wanting to see these characters thrive and do well. You're very invested in the Elliot family. You see several generations. My only hang-up is I didn't quite enjoy the third book as much as the first two, but it's one I really want to reread at some point. It was my first Elizabeth Goudge that I started out with, and I loved it so much. So I will be at some point rereading it. Then the next one is The Armourers House by Rosemary Sutcliffe. I absolutely adored this book. And you're following a little girl who has lived in the country her whole life, and all of a sudden she's going to live with family in the city. It is set in Tudor England, and so I really have not read much that's in that setting, and so I loved that, getting to have a kind of a real feel for that time period, and it feels very distinct and different from other historical fiction. And I love the passage of time in this book. You're really following the year in the life of this child, and there's some real charming parts to it. And I love the celebrations of holidays and festivals, and just a thoroughly enjoyable book. And then Maud, the Illustrated Diary of a Victorian Lady. I talk about this book constantly, but I think it's because it's so underrated, and there are numerous used copies available online. I think it's definitely worth the investment. And also something that's really fun is on my Patreon, we have had another copy of Maud go as a traveling book. And it's been, I think, 2 years now. It's been traveling between different members who are interested in doing the exchange. And it's just so delightful. And it's a real diary from a Victorian lady who also was an amateur painter. And so she has it illustrated with pictures throughout. And she just seems like the most fun lady. I think if you have read the Betsy Tacy series, you will really love Maud. And all of her friends that she has really goofy nicknames for. And she's just fun as a serious business. And I love getting to see her life and what it was like, an authentic, look at a Victorian life. Really fascinating. And then the next one is Kilbert's Diary by Frances Kilbert. I think the very dreamy descriptions of the natural world in this are what clinched it for me. I just really loved getting to have such a vivid picture of all the landscape around Francis Kilbert. He was a clergyman in the Victorian era, and this is his diary. It's looking at his life, looking at the kind of inner workings of what a clergyman would do, the different obligations that he had, but also a lot of the kind of the emotional ups and downs that he had, kind of some very intense moments of joy, but also of sorrow. And it's just written so beautifully. So really loved Kilbert's Diary. Then a middle grade book, and that is The Two Sisters of Amar by Gail Carson Levine. I loved the depths of love and kinship that these sisters have, and how much they care about each other, and how much they want the other one to thrive and do well. And I love the magical world that it's set in. There is a plague that comes, and kind of once you have this illness, there's no recovering. But once one of the sisters gets the illness, the other sister says, she will go to any lengths to save her sister, and everything that she does to try to find a cure for her sister, how hard she fights for her. It's so beautiful and moving. I just love Gail Carson Levine's writing. So those are 10 more life-softening books. Thank you as always for watching, and I will be back with another video soon. Bye!